What is going on? Today we're going to be reacting to a video called How I Cured My Phone Addiction, and I wanted to make this video for a few reasons. One, I've cut back severely, sensationally, overwhelmingly on my phone use as of recently. I've just weaned myself off bit by bit, starting by deleting the social media apps or apps that I wasn't using or didn't need on my phone, or finding different ways to use it because I'm going to keep using social media but more in a healthy way, so using it all on the desktop now, and that's caused my phone usage and unnecessary usage to drop dramatically. And I'm telling you, I was like a 3 to 4 hour a day kind of guy, and I've got it down to much lower, like an hour or less, which is great. And I'm only using apps that I want to use. And this has been a long journey. I started maybe a year or two ago by reading some books that inspired me to think differently about these things, and I'm going to show you right here. I have a bunch of book recommendations on my site, the shop.nickolasnatali.com. It's slightly a plug, but it's also a good resource, because these are books that have helped me in some capacity, and I give my thoughts as to why they did. So this one, Irresistible by Adam Alter, is great. It really shows you how the addiction forms between technology and us. And this one, The Craving Mind, talks about from cigarettes to smartphones to love, why we get hooked and how we can break bad habits. So essentially turn your bad into good things. So today we're going to watch How I Cured My Phone Addiction by this guy named Nate O'Brien. I've seen a few of his videos. I liked them. Let's do it. Long intro, but I bet you liked it. You loved it. You loved it. You liked it so much, you're going to like this video.
Addiction, a strong inclination to do, use, or indulge in something repeatedly. It's 2020. 94% of Americans own a
Are addicted. Addicted. My phone? Addicted.
cell phone. The average person spends more than 24 hours per week on their phones, with younger millennials and Generation Z spending 5 hours or more per day on their devices.
Loving this footage. Good footy, brother. Good footy. 24 hours a week? Man, a whole day on your phone? What's that? What's the math on that? That's like a little over 3 hours a day. That's what I was doing. It's so true. Oh.
And while addiction may be somewhat of a strong word to use for this habit,
it's not strong enough. It's what's beyond addiction. What would you say? A habit, obsession, addiction? Yeah, maybe.
It's something that I think needs to be discussed.
Oh, good shot.
A simple question to ask yourself is, what happens to you when you lose your phone? Are you calm?
Burst into the hives, itching at my neck, asking people, "Hey, do you have a phone? You got a little phone I could have?" Oh.
Collected, settled, or do you become agitated, impatient, restless? And this is something that I found for myself, that over the years I've become more and more dependent on my phone, to the point where I would spend 6 hours per day or more using my device. So this video is to hopefully show you some strategies.
I've had some pretty long days like that too, and the thing is I think I was lying to myself. Maybe that's part of the addiction too, because some of the stuff, granted, yeah, it's for work. You know, you gotta try to boost the podcast by posting things on there. You gotta try to keep up with trends, and you know, I find a lot of gems by scrolling through social media, like gems as in podcast guests and knowledge, etc., etc. There's some good parts, but then that's what I would just say all the time. I'd be like, this is good. This is good. This is good for me. It's like watching TikToks that are about teenage boys finding frogs and stacking them on top of each other. It's like, well, how did I get here?
Strategies to get your phone usage down lower so that you can spend more time in the real world, that I found it has helped me quite a bit. Now, don't get me wrong, phones have many wonderful uses. You can call an Uber.
He kind of reminds me of Parker Courthouse. You watching this? Ooh, reminds me of your behavior.
With the tap of a button, you can call friends from the other side of the world, call an ambulance, navigate a city with maps that you've never been into before. There's many things that phones are very useful for, and I don't want this video to sound as though it's totally against phones. I use my phone still quite often, but I found that using some of these techniques I'm going to show you in this video, I use it more with a purpose today, rather than just sort of blindly going onto my phone for 6 to 7 or 8 hours per day and sort of just wandering through the social media vortex. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you 5 things that I've done to...
Intentionality is important, and that's 100% true. Anything that you're not intentional with has the capability of consuming you. I also wonder if it was difficult for him to talk to the camera as it was panning, because I bet that guy crouched behind it probably looked kind of funny, kind of goofy, like a little goofy camera guy.
Really cut down my phone usage and really just use my phone with more of a purpose. So I noticed that in the past, if I wouldn't have my phone, maybe I forgot it somewhere, I left it at my house, suddenly I'd become antsy. I would start to reach around looking for my
Ants in his pants.
phone.
Antsy in his
natural habit
pantsy.
of reaching for your pocket all the time, trying to grab your phone, looking at it every 5 minutes. I didn't like the idea that I was so dependent on my phone to rely on it for everything, whether it was using it to navigate or using it.
Navigation, I don't know if that's ever going to change. My dependency for using it for navigation, that's got to be here to stay, right? Because it's not like I don't even own a printer. MapQuest is, I wonder what their traffic looks like these days. Web traffic, not the play on word. Dang it. Obviously, if you're just driving around in your hometown, you're not going to use it. But let's say you want to go 2 or 3 hours away. You gotta. Is there another way? Is there a way out of this?
To, thinking, well, maybe somebody needs to reach me right now. Maybe someone just sent me a message or a DM on Instagram, and it's absolutely important, and I just need to always have my phone on and respond to it right away. And I think probably...
I'm going to say this. I know I'm pausing it a lot. Get over yourself. This is important. There's been multiple studies that talk about how when you receive a notification and you check it, you're diverting your attention and bringing it back to whatever you were working on. That one notification can distract you for up to 26 minutes. I've seen some studies that say between 27 and 29, but let's just say 26 on the short end of this. So for 26 minutes, you have to refocus your brain back to what you were focusing on. We get notifications all the time. Imagine how distracted we are. And I think the difference today between high achievers or highly, I don't even want to say successful, but like people that are achieving a lot of great things have found the ability to avoid those distractions. And there's some discipline involved in that, of course. But really, it's the ability to find deep focus in your work and finding flow state of like 4 or 5 hours of undistracted working time. And notifications are the killer of that.
The biggest problem that I had with this was not actually that I was distracted and spending so much time on it, but rather that it was really killing my workflow. So if you're trying to do anything really and succeed in something, whether you're trying to write a book or maybe you're studying for an exam, I found that if you have your phone next to you and it's going off every 5 minutes, it's buzzing, you're getting email notifications, Instagram DMs, you're getting text messages, phone calls, it can be incredibly distracting. And if you've watched videos on this channel in the past before, you'll know that
it is incredibly distracting. Another thing is, and this is something that I've done recently that I've tried to stop doing, is when I'm with another person, a lot of times nowadays we put our phones like on the table or hold it in our hands when we're talking to other people. And I think what that does is even that takes away from connection to another person. You're not even actively using it, but it's taking such a presence and a life into your conversation because it's so glued to us. So I've been trying to keep my phone inside of my pocket when conversing with other people because I think it brings more of a connection. Like imagine if I just held this up the whole time.
that I'm a big advocate for kind of block scheduling and making sure that you can focus.
Isn't that weird? Doesn't it feel like you're less connected to me? So I'll put mine away. You keep yours on so you can watch this.
Focus on certain tasks throughout your day without very many distractions. So one of the things that I wanted to do was I thought, okay, how can I get my phone usage down? And I think the simple kind of answer to that would be, well, why don't you just turn off your phone? Or why don't you put it in a different room or lock it away, as I did in the past, and I got actually a special lockbox for it.
Oh, dang.
Pretty well. But I found that it really wasn't as good as what I thought it would be, because there were things that I wanted to use my phone for that I wasn't able to do. If I locked my phone away, if I turned it off, I wouldn't be able to use a calculator very quickly, or if I wanted to check the weather in just 15 seconds. It's nice to have your phone for those purposes. So
there's so many benefits to technology. If only we could use it properly. That's the thing, is the ability to have the technology work for us instead of us work for the technology. And all these free apps that we're using, if there's no purchase immediately, if it's not a product for purchase, you are the product. You're the thing that makes the money. Instagram is a free app that makes money off of you and your goddamn eyeballs looking at ads and buying stuff on top of their thing. You're getting all their ad space. So you're the product. Sorry. You're not like something that's being used, but you're kind of being used. We all are.
So what I found is not just getting rid of it entirely or by turning it off all day, but I found a better method was, first of all, turning off all phone notifications. So I literally get no notifications throughout the day. I might get a couple from text messages.
That do not disturb. this is how I've been doing it recently, and I think like the no notifications is good, but some things I would like to be notified by. So they have an option now in iOS to do notification summaries. So you can say like, hey, at 10 a.m. From these apps, notify me about them. So I do that, especially for stuff like freelance work or like messages from people that I'm expecting, even emails or Slack messages, Fiverr messages, all of those things. It's like, tell me, but tell me at this time. Don't tell me right away. I want to be in control when I receive that information.
Messages from certain specific people that I have notifications on for. Other than that, I don't get notifications. Instagram, even YouTube.
Look at this guy living in the moment, not on his phone.
But Snapchat notifications, TikTok, email, everything. I have everything off so that it's not buzzing all the time and it's in silent mode. And so I'm just not bothered. I'm not always kind of getting a reason to pick up my phone, and then suddenly, so you get one notification from somebody who messaged you on Instagram. You read their message, and then you click on their profile, and then you look at their post, and then they tag somebody in that post.
So true. So
profile,
true.
And then you spend time there, and you end up in what we call the social media vortex, where suddenly,
But we the experts.
an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, and you're on just random Instagram pages. You have no idea how you got there,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of killing time, wasting time. And so by just picking up your phone.
I was thinking about that today. The idea of passing time, like I'm doing something in the past time, is such a, I mean, the word is in it, such a passive way to live your life. I'm just going to pass time on my phone. It's like, we already have such a limited amount of time here in this place of dwelling on earth that to pass time seems like a blown opportunity, or maybe blown potential, or unseized potential.
Less throughout the day, it's going to incentivize you less to spend time in the social media vortex. So I found that there were really
Similar to the vlog vortex.
3 primary uses for my phone, reasons why I was picking it up, and if I could pick it up less, then I would just be using it less in the social media vortex. So one of the main reasons why I was checking my phone is because I was checking the time. I wanted to see what time it was. I do this multiple times per hour. You need to be at meetings, you need to be somewhere on time. So you pick up your phone, you look at the time, and then suddenly you see your messages and it goes on and on.
Yeah.
So simple fix to that, I just got a watch. It was that simple. So now when I want to know the time, I just look at my watch.
I've always been curious because I don't have a smartwatch, an Apple Watch, but I have kind of I've wanted one. I've coveted my neighbors and my brothers for their smartwatches, but I've always been curious if that has the same effect of like, I'm going to check the time on my smartwatch, but this is also going to give me all my notifications, so it wouldn't get rid of your need for your phone. It would just almost like amplify it. I've been curious about that. If you got an Apple Watch, let me know if it like improves. Let me know if it improves your life or if it continues to distract.
Instead of needing to pick up my phone. Another reason why
I also did the alarm clock. I started out with doing the alarm clock instead, and that, I don't know, those things are, the simplicity of setting an alarm on your phone is wildly easier than setting it up on an alarm clock and more efficient. So that was a hard habit to get into. That's one area that I would like to do better of. But now sometimes I sleep with my phone out here instead of in my room. It all depends. It depends.
why I was using my phone quite a bit was by just checking messages, responding to messages. I felt like I was really, I had to respond to messages on time. Now I just kind of batch those together, or I do bulk messaging. So if I get 5 text messages in the span of 2 hours, I'll just respond to all of them at the same time and then put my phone away and have notifications off and then check it every few hours rather than just kind of going and responding to everyone as they come in, just kind of batching them together. And
I think that's great. I think it's a smart way to do it. I think in a dream world, this is my dream world. Let me tell you, let me just let you in on what's on my heart. May I, brothers and sisters? I would love to live in a world where I check my email like once a week and everything else is delegated to somebody else where they take care of the messages. Maybe I have a phone call once a week with somebody that's taking care of all the messages and I'm like, hey, this is the most important stuff. Everybody else, you got it, because most people need just a quick answer to something. And then if it's a hangout, I got Calendly, boom, they schedule it, no problem. You could say that's impersonable, but I would say it's saving everybody time, not having to send back and forth their schedules. Just automation and delegation and elimination are all the things that I love.
And then the third thing that I was doing was I was reading a lot of email and checking email and getting notifications. So what I did for that is
It's so crazy. Why do we have so many emails? Everybody has emails. Everybody's getting emails about something. If if we just didn't email, would we stop getting them? Would we? I don't get it. It's crazy. There's 7 billion people in the world, and we're all getting emails.
Got rid of most of my email accounts on my phone. So now what I do with my email is I just use it for my laptop. I just have it on my computer, and that just saves me a lot of time of having to go through look through all that,
I like that
on my phone. It's a lot easier to do that because I try to really have email just for work rather than getting like coupons and stuff.
More people living in the moment.
So as you can see, I have plenty of apps on my phone, but I've gotten rid of most of the apps that just aren't really productive or...
I've tried this too, the black and white. It didn't really make sense to me though, because I spend so much time like curating videos on there. So it's like, I want to know what colors I'm looking at here. I want to know what it's going to look like, the final product. I don't want to post something and have it be like the colors not be complementary.
Aren't helpful to me. So a lot of the games or these other little just kind of apps that really I wasn't using very often, and they were cluttering my phone. So I try to keep my phone kind of sort of minimalistic, and I think that really helps as well. But you'll also notice probably that my phone is black and white. It's gray.
It is.
And so you can actually put your phone in grayscale mode if you just go to color filters, and you can change it to black and white. And what this does is it kind of makes certain things less interesting, which I like because, for example, if I go on Instagram, I kind of just view Instagram.
Oh shoot, got mad DMs.
Right? Like, people's posts, but they're not extremely interesting. They don't catch my eye as much. So I found that this...
Yeah, take that to my friend Brett. Lame post, not that interesting. Oh cool, you went to Vermont to ski? Not interesting, brother. Sorry about it. I don't even want to look at your stupid ski at Mount Snow, Vermont post.
Really helps me cut back on the amount of time that I'm actually spending on actual Instagram. And so I think that's pretty cool.
This is a great look into your feed, brother. I'm learning a lot about you, Nate.
And it really does save me quite a bit of time. So I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and I think I've seen quite a few benefits from this. Obviously my workflow increased. I was able to get much more done in my day. But I think the best part of this is that I was able to have more genuine connections with people in the real world, real conversations, rather than kind of in the social world.
Shooting a shot.
I think a lot of people, you know, if you're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner, I see this in so many American families today, where people are sitting at the dinner table and they're just all on their phones. They're all just texting each other.
Long live the iPad children.
For other people, instead of just making eye contact with someone and having a real conversation. And I think that's something that's shifting quite a bit in these coming years. But I just really like having real conversations with people. And so my challenge to you is to try to do something similar to this. My phone usage used to be probably about 6 hours per day, and it's much closer to about an hour or 2 hours per day.
Good.
Obviously, There's some times where I'm going to use my phone for productivity. I need to use a calculator. I use my notes in my phone. So I don't strictly limit how much time. I'm not going to set a quota of saying I have to do it less than an hour per day on my phone. Sometimes
that sounds stressful. You're like trying to learn Spanish, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. No tiempo.
I'll spend 3 or 4 hours on my phone, but it's focused on things that are important tasks or things that I really think are essential to get done.
Yeah.
So my challenge to you is to try doing this, to just see if you can use some of these tactics, maybe grayscale mode, maybe just turning off most notifications, and having real conversations with other people. So thanks for watching the video. Appreciate all the support. We're coming up on 500,000 subscribers now.
Wow, good for you. Good for you, Nate. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hope to see you on my podcast. Maybe, Nate. Alright, enough plugs. That's it for today's reaction video. I think technology is such a wonderful thing. I'm a huge fan of it. Love smart everything. But I do think it has to be used in a way that's going to be most beneficial for us. Especially in today's age where we can be distracted by almost anything, and everything is trying to get our attention, from Netflix shows continuing to the next one and trying to get us to binge, to going online and having these websites sell our personal data so they can give us the most targeted ads, so we're more likely to buy things from them and then buy more things, and then they retarget those ads and they're in our inbox, and then we want to check our inbox because we're getting the notification, and we're checking the notifications, and we're checking our emails and responding to our emails, and then we see somebody's handle and their signature, and we click on their handle and their signature, and we go to Instagram, and on it goes. We live in a very distracted world, and it's a fight really to, one, get back our own dopamine. Come on, we need to store that up. And then 2, get our attention spans back. And 3 and 4 and 5, We need to get our connection with one another back. I think with every outlet driving more polarizing content than ever and causing a bigger line in the sand, and also it becoming harder for us to converse with one another because of technology and the distractions, all things point to limiting and controlling our consumption of these things and being in control of it rather than it in control of us is better for us personally and better for us collectively. That's a lot. There's so much to be said. I love it. You have purpose, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.